Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 15 of the Shoulda Gone Pro podcast. Welcome back. Hope everyone had a good weekend with the All-Star weekend. We're going to recap some of that, give our opinions on what went down, and dive into some of that. Obviously, the bad dunk contest, a pretty enjoyable All-Star game, and everything else was pretty decent besides that dunk contest, which just ripped our hearts out on Saturday night. But we did want to touch on one topic besides that while we get started. Well, first of all, Brock, how you doing?
I'm good, Eric. How are you? Yeah, I didn't. It sounds like I was actually rewarded for not watching the dunk contest over the weekend. So I'm happy that I made that choice beforehand. And obviously, it was turned out to be a pretty good decision. Apparently.
Yeah, I think there was some better dunks in the actual All-Star game than in the dunk contest. It was pretty disappointing, but yeah, we want to touch on one thing before we get into it. We wanted to discuss the situation that went down over the weekend with Michigan and Wisconsin. We were just talking about it before the pod started, so I thought I might as well just start it off with it. Juwan Howard suspended for the rest of the regular season, which is 5 games. I believe there was suspensions handed out to Wisconsin coaches too that they weren't as long though. I think 1 or 2 games. And a couple of players on each side were suspended for a game. There's a lot of tensions that were kind of boiling over, and in the post game handshake line, things kind of went down. So you gave me a pretty good description of the timeline before the pod, Brock. Do you want to dive into that?
Yeah. So Wisconsin obviously winning this game by double digits late in the second half. I think there was like under 20 seconds left. So I believe Michigan. So Wisconsin put their bench players in. Obviously, get them in there, even if it's one possession. Don't want to risk an injury or anything. Let those guys get some playing time. It's a big game. And Michigan started pressing with like I said, under 20 seconds left. So Wisconsin had to call a timeout because you're pressing with 20 seconds left in a game that is decided already. There's no reason to do that against backups. And I think Juwan Howard got upset that they called another timeout. So Michigan fouled, delayed the game even a little bit more. And then when the final horn sounded, they were walking through the handshake line. And Juwan Howard was in the back of the line, didn't look to shake Greg Gard's hand, the Wisconsin head coach. So he kind of put his hand on his chest, and Juwan Howard did the exact same thing. And then, obviously words probably exchanged or whatever. And the next thing you know, their players from both sides are all circled around him, and you see Juwan Howard throw kind of like a slap punch thing at one of Wisconsin's assistant coaches. And hit him in the side of the head. It was definitely one of the more crazier things I've seen. I can't remember the last time a coach has done or has ever really done anything like that. Maybe back to the Bobby Knight days, but that guy was kind of a crazy old man. So
yeah.
But it's disgusting. Not something that you want to see in the sport. And it's a Big Ten game that's nationally televised. I think it was on CBS. So everyone saw that. And now with the social media days, I saw it on TikTok, Twitter. It was literally everywhere. Definitely not the ending to the season that Michigan was hoping for. I think we were just talking about before the podcast. I was like, I'm an Illinois fan, and I think I was worried about them the most. Coming in here with that great recruiting class to give Illinois a run for their money atop the Big Ten. But Michigan's been really disappointing this year. And I think it was just kind of a frustration building up kind of thing. You're losing to double digits. You're going to drop another game. Obviously not excusable. I think the penalty for Juwan Howard, like you said, 5 games. He's suspended without pay. And then I believe he gets an additional $40,000 fine on top of that. So that's certainly gonna hurt. And I think it's a fair punishment for him. He did throw a punch that connected with another team's coach. You can't have that in the game of college basketball. So I think the NCAA did a good job of handling it quickly, and just tell Juan Howard, just take the rest of the season off, and I mean, reflect on what you've done. And I don't think firing the guy would have been a good response. I mean,
Mhm.
I don't. I think it would have been a little bit of an overreaction. Granted, I could have seen it because, again, with how serious of a nature of the altercation was, I could see a warrant for firing a coach like that. But I mean, this is Juan Howard. This is his second season at Michigan. He's shown no pattern of this anywhere. I mean, this is just kind of a one time. I mean, obviously you'd hope a one time thing, but I mean, it was just kind of it caught me by surprise. I was like, Juan Howard just punched another team's assistant coach. Like, where the hell did that come from? So I mean, I think the penalty that the NCAA handed out on both sides was justifiable, and I thought it was fair.
Yeah, I would agree. As a Michigan fan, I have been very very disappointed with their basketball team this year. I thought we were going to take that next step and be a powerhouse this year, and it's been quite the opposite. The five stars that have come in, I mean, Moose has been decent, but Caleb Houston is just not good at all. And he was supposed to come in and be that sharpshooter, and he's just shooting balls off the side of the backboard. It's just embarrassing. I could go on forever about that and how disappointed I've been with that team this year. But the tensions have really been just boiling over for Juwan, like you said, and losing to a rival on the road like that pretty badly. And um, I think he was worried about people are going to be questioning what happened this year, and there's lots going on in his head, and it all just kind of boiled over to that. And some players started to fight a little bit afterwards too. I don't think that firing would have been the right move there. I think if it was a lot worse of a situation where he continuously went at the coach, besides he just did that one thing. But if he tried to fight back and do like a full on fight, then that would have been different. But or if he does repeat occasions like you mentioned as well. But I think the 5 games is a good middle ground on that. Kind of that little shock to him, like, hey, like you need to, even though the team's not doing how as well as you thought they were going to do this year, you still got to get yourself together and stay composed in that kind of situation. Um, and I mean, there was nothing that was like dirty about what happened. I mean, the I'm about to sneeze. I feel it coming. The the there was nothing necessarily dirty. Like he wasn't having players go and like foul somebody super hard or anything. It was more of a, a strategy, tactical move. So I mean, I don't warrant what Juwan did at all. I think that he was out of line for doing that. I understand everything that's built up to that point, but I don't agree with what he did. It's one of those things where you just gotta bite the bullet on the court and then go get your frustration out a different way. That's more that's safer and not gonna cause problems. So
There's
um,
always the NIT. There's always the NIT.
yeah, I'm hoping we can go on a little bit of a run and sneak into the tourney and be one of those surprise teams, but it's kind of a long shot at this point. I'm not watching freaking NIT games. Um, but it's yeah, it's unfortunate that this all happened and it brings this bad rap. Um, the players obviously were chirping too when that happened, so I don't want to put a lot of blame on the players for that. Obviously, they still shouldn't be doing that, but it looked like both sides were pretty equal on the player involvement in that. So, um, but overall, shouldn't have happened. I think Juwan got a lesson out of this and realized. Um, I saw a lot of recruits actually from Michigan that are coming in next year and the following year, saying on Instagram and Twitter saying free Juwan, he did nothing wrong and everything. And I don't know if I agree with that much, but um, I hope that he learns from this and we can move on and this will be a thing of the past and they can try and regroup as they head into the Big Ten tournament, which will be huge for them down the stretch trying to get into March Madness this year. And if they get some good wins in that tournament, that could really make a difference. So, um, yeah, weird situation, and and unfortunate that it brought this negative press to both sides, and especially with Juwan Howard. So, um, but yeah, we'll see if anything else comes from it. But I think they made their ruling, and I think we're moving forward with that. But definitely noteworthy and something to discuss because stuff like that doesn't happen super often. So, um, but yeah, we're gonna dive into the All-Star weekend that we had. I thought it was pretty enjoyable overall. Um, Obviously, we'll talk about the dunk contest, but I think everything else overall was pretty fun to watch. Started off with the Rising Stars tournament on Friday. I really enjoyed the new format with the 4 teams. I wish I could have known how the teams were made, um, and like how they came to be, because it just seemed like it was kind of random how the teams were formed. But um, I really enjoyed the tournament. A lot of the games were down to the wire at the end, so the teams really locking in and playing like meaningful possessions at the end, which was fun to watch. Um, I think the teams were pretty evenly matched as well. I thought it was fun, and they really had a lot of these guys kind of making a name for themselves. For maybe some of the more casual fans, um, they could learn more about some of these guys that might be up and coming, and see them actually playing these meaningful possessions instead of just tossing oops to each other. So uh, I thought it was pretty fun. I like the new format, and I hope they move forward with this kind of thing where we get more competitiveness out of that tournament and see how these young guys play with each other and stuff like that. I really enjoyed it personally, but um, I think the overall general reception of it was pretty positive too. So I definitely say keep that going.
Yeah, I liked it. Like you said, I think I like the new format. Anytime you can make it a little bit more competitive, make it a little bit more fun. I think that's a good thing. I like the idea of adding a player from the G League onto each roster. I mean, just something. I mean, it's just creative. You know, like you said, you give all those guys a chance to play. You know, meaningful basketball. And I mean, like the Rising Stars Challenge has kind of been like the All Star Game in recent years, where they just don't really, you know, they're just kind of out there goofing around and seeing who can put on a highlight show. But I mean, yeah, this year it definitely felt like the competitiveness was ramped up and they were really playing to win. And I mean, Cade Cunningham I believe got MVP, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's yeah. He's I mean, it was
It's my
good to
guy.
see. Good to see Io in there. Like I said, I think he's been one of the steals of the draft
Oh yeah.
easily so far this
Oh yeah.
year. I mean, hell of a find by the Bulls in the second round. I don't know how he lasted till the second round in general, but yeah, no, I liked the new format. I've always enjoyed the Rising Stars Challenge. I think it's
Hmm.
unique to get those first and second year players in there, the guys who aren't necessarily good enough or experienced enough to make the All Star game. I think it's always fun to give them their own little mini All Star game in a way.
Yeah, that's a great point. I did notice some of the G League guys during the game. I think Dyson Daniels is one of the guys. He had a good game, um, but some of the guys that didn't really make much of an impact. But no, I thought it was fun, and I do really enjoy it too. I think it's one of the more underrated things about All Star Weekend is seeing those guys compete. So hopefully they keep this up and keep it moving. And it just really proved how much great young talent we have in the league right now. So um, a lot to look forward to for a lot of teams with these young guys out there. Only going to get better. So um, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how those guys get better over time. But next we had the skills challenge starting out Saturday night. Again, that new format. I believe you both picked Team Rooks, and man, if we would have had 5 more seconds of missed half court shots, we would have been right. But um, I kind of I enjoyed it. I just think it was a little too complicated. Um, I thought the scoring for everything was a little bit hard to follow, especially. I mean, several of the guys on the relay were getting confused on what to do. Um, I think it was just a lot of new stuff at once. Um, I did like the shooting one. Thought that was fun. Obviously, I thought the Antetokounmpo were going to get last in that, and I believe they did. So, but then you got Darius Garland, who's an actual All Star out there. I mean, Jared Allen too, but he doesn't shoot the ball. But Darius Garland was actually out there, and he was just knocking down everything under the sun. And that just made it to the point where it was like, well, they pretty much just won the shooting round just because of Darius Garland. But no, that was kind of fun. The passing one was interesting because they were just running all over the place, and it was hard to follow on TV everything that was happening because they got these three dudes just winding in between each other, just launching these basketballs, and I was like, I'm trying to see like if they make it or miss it, but I have to look three different things at once. It was kind of a lot to take in, but um, and the tiebreaker was like number of outlet passes. I don't know. A lot of it was the scoring got a little confusing, but if they keep doing it over the years, it'll probably make more sense over time. But and then the relay challenge, I think that was my favorite out of the three, because that kind of had every guy showcasing several parts of their game, and it reminded me of the old skills challenge, in a way. So I thought that was cool. I was afraid several times that someone was going to hit their head on that spinning windmill in the corner for three. I I saw like twice like dudes like trying to duck out of the way because that spinning windmill was going to smack them in the head when they had to turn the corner. But um, no, that was cool. I don't really. I guess I understand why they made it extra points for that, but it was a little confusing how they scored everything. And the half court challenge, that's part of that is just luck at that point. I mean, Mobley just drained his first one after 5 seconds, and Cade made one after 10 seconds. So I thought that was going to be a pretty good score, and then Mobley just came in and just drains one off the bat. So um, I don't know. I thought it was fun. I think I would tweak it a little bit to kind of shore it up, make it a little less complicated and easier to follow along at home. But and for the players just to get a better understanding of it, because I could tell during some of the challenges that they had to rethink in their head, like, okay, I gotta do this right now. So, but no, it was fun. It was creative. I like the little team aspect they had going too. So, hopefully they tweak it a little bit and bring it back next year. That's my opinion. But I think Team Cavs, looking at it now, I didn't think in my head like, okay, they really have two All-Stars in that team. That's not really super fair. but um, but yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, no, like you said, that shooting around Darius Garland scored more points himself than all the Antetokounmpo brothers. So I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, little
yeah.
bit of an advantage there. But yeah, no, I mean, I was definitely, like I said, I was reading the rules and like the format and stuff, even like before the last podcast, and it seemed confusing, just all the different stuff they had to do. But I actually like it. I like that there's teams now. I mean, I've always enjoyed the skills challenge. I thought it was one of the more fun parts of All Star Weekend, just seeing like a mix of big guys going up against a guard, and it always seemed like it came down to the 3-pointer at the end to win it. And I just kind of like the single elimination kind of like bracketed thing. But I mean, no, I like the team aspect. Hopefully they, like you said, hopefully they tweak it to make it a little less confusing. But yeah, no, I mean, I like the way it was broke down. I think the half courts to win it is just such an exciting thing. I mean, like you said, just
Yeah,
complete luck.
yeah,
But I mean, I mean, there's what's more exciting than a half quarter to win a skills challenge. And I mean, I think it just adds to the fun and excitement. Um, and I mean, yeah, I think that was certainly a good idea. And I like the little tiebreakers and stuff like that. I thought it was pretty well done and pretty well thought out. I like the new format. Like I said, I think they could just tweak it a little bit more to make it a little bit less confusing on some of the players. Because I mean, when you're out there running around at 100 miles an hour, you don't want to have to be like, oh shit, what am I supposed to do here? What am I supposed to do here? What am I supposed to do
yeah,
here? But I mean, I like it. I like the team aspect of it, and I absolutely love the half quarters for the final challenge.
yeah. I mean, uh, as a fan, it's fun to watch that at the end and just watch these balls just flying at the hoop, just seeing if one's gonna stick. But yeah, I thought they did a pretty good job with it, and hopefully we see that again with some more fun team ideas. Like we had some fun teams this year, so um, like that they did the Antetokounmpo team. That's a fun idea. So hopefully they have some more fun ones next year too. But the 3-point contest. There was a little bit of surprises there. I believe our picks didn't do super well. And I picked Patty Mills, and he didn't make it to the final round. The final round was Kennard, Trey Young, and Cat. And Cat had the longest odds according to Vegas, to win it all by a decent margin. And I mean, if you watched it, you saw Cat just pulled out a flamethrower in that final round. I didn't really think about it, but his shot mechanics, the fact that he doesn't jump much on his shot, and he has that quick release, makes it fantastic for a 3-point contest because you don't have to expend a bunch of energy with this make these big jumps every time. Like I forgot that Patty Mills gets a high jump off the ground when he shoots the ball, so it takes more energy out of him when he gets to the last rack. But Cat just stand there and just playing Papa shot at that point. I believe he set the record for most points in a final round with 29. Um, so that was pretty cool to watch a big man like that going crazy out there. He was super happy about it too, which was cool to see. Luke Kennard, I think, might surprise some people, especially some more casual people, with how well he performed. I believe he was leader of the first round scores. I mean, it's a couple of guys. I feel like every year, a couple of the big name guys just throw up some duds. I think we were both pretty high on Desmond Bain going in, and he clunked it. And Zach LaVine was just bricking everywhere. So, but overall, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching Cat go crazy out there, and it was pretty competitive too. So, I definitely like what the 3-point contest is right now, and I thought it was another fun one this year. I believe he's the second tallest player to win it. I think Dirk. It was Dirk that won it. I think it was 06 maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So cool to see that, and hopefully we get some more fun ones in the future like that. I mean, I feel like the 3-point contest has been always pretty reliable as far as the enjoyment factor and what we're able to get out of it. So especially with the league going so much to threes nowadays, there's so many guys you could put in there. Pretty much just picking out of the hat at that point. So yeah, congrats to Cat. I enjoyed it, and it was fun.
Yeah, I didn't. I was surprised when he even missed on that last round. I mean, he was dialed in. I mean, it was one of the best shooting performances in a 3-point contest that I can remember. Yeah, like you mentioned, second tallest player, and I think technically when you look at position, he's the first center to win it. I mean, I know Dirk technically played power forward, and Kevin Love also played power forward.
Yeah.
So I mean, technically the first center to win the 3-point contest, which is also joined Steph Curry as the only player to win multiple 3-point contests or like multiple All-Star events because he won the Skills Challenge in 2016.
Challenge,
yeah. Yep. And then Curry, obviously 2-time 3-point champion, and then he also won Skills Challenge way back in 2011. But yeah, I mean, my pick was Trae Young. I was right there. I mean, made it to the final round. I feel like that's all you could hope for.
Yeah,
I mean, if there was definitely
pick Trae.
But I mean, definitely, yeah. LaVine, like you mentioned, LaVine had a dud. Desmond Bain had a dud. And I mean, yeah, I think I was. I mean, I'm happy that Cat won. If there was, I don't really think, like you said, yeah. I mean, he 13-1 odds to win the whole thing. So I mean, yeah, no one expected him to, and I mean, he just got hot. That's all you really need to do in the 3-point contest. And I think you mentioned it. Yeah, I mean, his shot, being a big man, definitely helps. Not being able to jump, just watch it, just so effortless. I mean, just flicks the wrist, stationary. And I mean, I think that's something people don't realize when you're in a 3-point contest is that you're shooting 25 balls in rapid succession. If you're jumping super high and you have a lot of motion and movement in your shot, you're going to get tired. I was in one back in my day, Eric. I almost advanced. Yeah, I was not quite the sniper that Cat was back in the day, but I was. I'd like to say I was pretty close. But no, I mean, yeah, you get tired, and I think that definitely benefited him in the last round. And I mean, I think it showed. I mean, he was just unreal, like lights out. I mean, it was incredible to see him just absolutely go nuclear in that last round. I think when you had so many good shooters, that's what it was. You had to have a round like that. That's what it was going to take to win it. And I mean, Cat picked a perfect time to unload the clip and decide to to make history.
Yeah, no. If you really think about it, you have to have one of those kind of standout rounds to pull it out in recent years, just because of how well everyone can shoot. I mean, getting around like around 20 or so was really good back a while ago, but in the past several years with the 3-point shot getting so important, you kind of have to get 25 plus to be in that winning area. So, um, yeah, 29 is absolutely crazy. But yeah, congrats to Kat. I enjoyed it, and I'm sure we'll have plenty more good ones with how good the NBA players are at threes nowadays. So, um, but yeah, next up is I'm gonna call it the flunk contest because it was awful. The worst one I have ever seen, and I'm not exaggerating. Um, not just saying that because it just happened or because I want to make a dramatic thing for the show. Like it was literally the worst I've ever seen. Um, Cole Anthony came out and started dancing and dunked in Tim's over his dad. So it was kind of a cool idea, but I'm not a huge fan of the gimmick dunks. Um, Jalen Green put an NFT on a chain around his neck. So he was just chasing the bag there. That was just kind of stupid.
The price of
Um,
that thing's tanking after the performance he put on. Ain't no one buying that. No one's gonna be buying that thing.
yeah, and then he came out and he missed like 12 dunks in a row for the dunk, the NFT dunk. Um, and then he finally made it, but the judges were like, okay, like, cool. It took you like 12 tries to get it. It means you didn't practice for this at all. So many guys went out there and did dunks you've already seen. Um, Pretty much no effort or no creativity. Obi Toppin was the one exception. I feel like he had a couple dunks that were some good variations of dunks, but nothing super noteworthy. I know he dunked over a guy and went behind his back with the ball. That's a nice little twist on it, but so many dunks where I was just like, this is not cutting it. Um, like I can go on YouTube and see the guys doing this at the park. Like this is nothing super special. Um, there was a lot of missed dunks too. I think they said like players in the first round went like, I believe I read this right. It was 7 for 25 on dunks. So it took 25 attempts to get all the dunks down, which is after like 2 attempts, it's like, okay, like you still want to do that dunk? And with Jalen Green too, they only technically allow 3 attempts, but it has to be an actual attempt, which means like you're actually throwing the ball down to dunk it. And Jalen Green just kept jumping up and then just falling back down because he didn't feel like he could do it. It got to the point where the crowd just didn't even care anymore. It was really hard to watch. I was watching with my mom and my sister who haven't really watched dunk contests in the past, and they were
Picked a
like, "Is
bad
it
one.
usually, huh?"
I said they picked a bad one to start.
Yeah. I was like, they're like, is it usually this bad? I'm like, no, this is like, you guys just got the bad pick of the litter on this one. But geez, it was hard to watch. I know Juan Toscano Anderson tried to do the honey dip, which I mean, it's not a bad dunk, but we've seen it a lot of times before. And if he didn't add really any variation to it. And then he dunked it, but didn't do the honey dip. He just did like a windmill, I think. And like, okay, well, you dunked it, so that's your dunk. And he was just kind of screwed. And then he missed his last dunk. So Obi Toppin in the final round pretty much just had to make a dunk in general just to win because he would get more than the default score of 30. Um, this was the first contest, I believe, where no one got a 50. And it was I'm not a one more thing. I'm not a fan of when people do the tribute dunks anymore, unless there's a really good reason behind why you're doing the tribute. Because a lot of people just pull out a Vince Carter jersey and just do his dunks from 2000. And I can't remember if I mentioned this on the last podcast when we were just talking about dunk contest, but I'm not a fan of those because I feel like guys are just cheaping out creativity wise and just taking a dunk from the old days and saying, "Oh, well, it's a tribute." Well, no, you just saw that and thought it was cool, so you want to do it yourself. So, I mean, there were some nice touches. I think Cole Anthony bringing out his dad was cool. Juan's jersey representing Mexico was nice. But man, most years I'll go back and watch the dunk contest and like the highlights again just to look back on it. Um, this year I had to erase my mind of it and go watch 2016 again. It's remember the good old days, and I swear we had better dunks in the actual All-Star game than we did in the dunk contest, which is saying something. So please just bring in somebody that's going to bring some creativity and just bring some joy back to the fans. And uh, Obi Toppin was getting the award at the end, and they were doing a little presentation at center court. And I looked in the back, and the seats were empty. The crowd had already left. Previous years, the crowd would be roaring back there, and it'd be full still. And at that at that point, when they saw Juan Toscano miss his final dunk, they all just left, and the seats were empty. And Obi Topping barely even got like any cheers because everyone already left. Oh my gosh, man! It was some players in the NBA that are able to get those hops need to look at that and say, this is wrong. This is not how the dunk contest needs to be. This is a staple of NBA All-Star Weekend, so we need to bring this back to what it was. There's been several guys over the years that have helped bring it back. Vince Carter really revitalized it back in the day, and Levine, Aaron Gordon have brought fantastic dunk contests as of recent memory. So please, somebody come in here and save us from that horrific showing we had. That's my rant.
Yeah, no, I mean, like you said, it was a snooze fest, and was any sleeping adjective you can throw out there to describe it. It was pretty bad. I mean, when you're dunking the ball, which is the most exciting part of the NBA, seeing these freak athletes just fly through the air, and you have people leaving during the dunk contest. I mean, that's a pretty good indication that this is probably the lowest you can go. I mean, Christ, I was scrolling through TikTok the last couple of days, and I've seen 15 better dunks than anything I saw in the NBA dunk contest just from Joe Schmo on the street. I mean, I don't know where the lack of creativity is coming from. I mean, like you said, it just doesn't feel original anymore when they just throw on an old player's jersey and go, okay, I'm going to do exactly what he did. I mean, we've seen that before. Like, I want to see something. And I think that could be a little part of it. I mean, what have we not seen? I feel like a lot of what is exciting and crazy and never before seen has been seen and done before. So there's not a lot left to really do. But I mean, find something, please. Try something new. I mean, it just stinks and is boring to see the same thing. Yeah, I mean, some guy throw on a Vince Carter jersey and do the same dunk he did to win in 2000. Like, everyone knows what's coming at that point. Oh, you throw on the Vince Carter jersey, here comes the Vince Carter dunk. I mean, I want to see something new, original, and exciting. That, I mean, yeah, like you mentioned, the dunk contest should not be an event where people are walking out of the stands and leaving the arena. I mean, that just can't happen. I think this was, very, very, very dark day for the dunk contest. And I mean, I think the easy pick was going with Obi Toppin because, I mean, was really the only guy that, I mean, Jalen Green's got hops, but I mean, the other two guys were guards and are small. And I mean, Obi Toppin's 6'8" and was a dunker at Dayton. So, I mean, I think everyone just kind of knew, I mean, just not the big names, the best names doing it anymore. I mean, even last year, I mean, Anthony Simons, the one guy wasn't even in the NBA play for the I can't remember his name. I don't know if he's in the league anymore. The guy that played for the dude that did it last year for the Pacers. You know who I'm talking about, Eric?
Who, last year?
Yeah.
Oh, Cassius Stanley.
Yeah. Who?
Yeah. No, he's on the G League team for the Pistons.
Yeah, like exactly. You had to get a guy from the G League to do the dunk contest, and it just sucks. I mean, this event is too exciting and too much of a staple of All-Star Weekend to be this bad. And I mean, they have to do something to fix it for sure.
Yeah. The one thing I will say about the creativity part is they have plenty of notice in advance of when they're gonna be in the dunk contest. They have plenty of time to practice and come up with ideas. And there's a show on YouTube. I believe the Whistle Sports puts it on. It's called the Dunk League, and it's a game show kind of in a way, a competition show of these street dunkers. There's dunkers that actually are out there doing contests for a living, like on the streets, like professional competitions. And these guys do the most craziest stuff. I mean, they could just go on YouTube and look up some of those dunks and just pull one of those out because we haven't seen those in the NBA dunk contest before, and they would get a high score for it if they're able to pull it off. So I think the creativity excuse, while I do understand in a way that if you're trying to come up with the top of your head at short notice, it'd be hard to come up with stuff, but they have a decent amount of time, probably close to a month, couple of weeks. And it's not too hard if you want to put the effort in to try and come up with some creative stuff. So I do and I don't get that point that people bring up sometimes, but it's still just really disappointing. I mean, Obi Topping, his dad was a street dunker, so that's where he probably got some of his ideas for dunks from. But um, I think there's still stuff in the tank. Someone just got to open up the tank to get the stuff out, you know. So I I don't know. It was hard to watch, and I'm just praying next year we get a good one that I'll actually look back on and be like, that was a good one. I want to watch that on YouTube again because I had to go on the TV and say, "Hey, mom, I'm sorry that you had to watch that disgusting show. I'll show you 2016. This is what you missed out on a couple of years ago because 2016, every single dunk, I was jumping out of my seat in my living room, screaming at the TV, saying, "No way, you just did that." So, um, hopefully, we get back to that soon for sure. But yeah, that's our dunk contest rant. But the All Star game was pretty good. I was happy about the All Star game. Again, love the format that they've introduced a couple of years ago, and no doubt they should keep that going. Last year I was a little sad because the game was a little bit more of a blowout, so we didn't have a competitive fourth quarter for the Kobe score. This year was the opposite. Team Durant was up by one going into the the fourth quarter, if you want to call it a quarter. Um, and that's when a lot of guys took over. LeBron hit the game winner, fade away in Cleveland. That's just a storybook finish right there. I mean, that's just amazing to watch, no matter who you're a fan of. But the main story was Steph Curry. If you didn't think he was the best shooter in the world, and you still don't think so, then I think you need to check your pulse to see if you're human, because that just doesn't make sense. Um, I mean, it's insane. Um, he made 16 threes and had 50 points. Um, I knew he was going to put up some good threes, but the one that shocked me the most was when he shot it from close to half court and he turned around while the ball was at the top of its peak and just started running away. And it's like, imagine showing somebody that like 20, 30 years ago. They would think that's like the video game. There's that's just it's insane. I could not believe it. Um, he had several of those that they just kept feeding the ball. He was just knocking on everything in sight. So it's really fun when a guy gets super hot like that in the All Star game because it just gives him that extra level to just go crazy. Another one, Steph Curry shot in the corner. Again, it was like mid-flight. He turned around, and when he heard the crowd cheer when it went in, he didn't even look. He turned to the fan that was sitting courtside in front of him and was like, "Did it go in?" It was like I was screaming. I was going crazy, and a lot of guys really showed out. It was some really good dunks. John Morant didn't play as much as I thought he was going to, but he had some ups in that game. It was in the first quarter. He had um, that reverse alley oop that was like his elbow was like above the rim when he reached up like that, and like he was like up to like his neck. It's like he should be in like a high jump competition, man. That's crazy. Um, but it's always fun to see those guys get together and have fun like that. And you notice as the game went along, first quarter was pretty dry as far as any kind of defensive pressure, and as the game went along, it got a little bit better. And then the fourth quarter was pretty fun. So no complaints really on my end as far as the All Star game. Um, I will say I did get a little emotional during that halftime show for the NBA 75. Just looking back on all those people in the same place at once, something that is super rare. And I obviously wasn't alive when it did the NBA 50, but seeing all those guys together on the same stage, it's something we're only going to see a couple of times in our lives. And it just kind of puts basketball into perspective when you see so many guys showing love to each other, and just it was amazing to watch. I got a little teary eyed when they showed the Kobe thing. So it was super cool. I mean, you saw LeBron and Jordan sharing a moment. I saw a video of Jordan trash talking Magic backstage and go play 1-on-1. It's just so cool to see so many of those great guys together on the court at once. You could tell MJ really appreciated what these guys done for the game after he retired. I saw him go run up and hug Luca and everything, and who will definitely be on the NBA 100 list eventually. But super cool. Definitely something. If you didn't see it, go back and watch it because so many guys were there at once that are just great parts of basketball history and reminded me why I fell in love with the game in the first place. So super cool. I just wish some of those guys that didn't go uh, ended up deciding to go because there was several guys that came up on the screen. I was like, that guy didn't go. But it was super cool and definitely something to remember for a while. But no complaints as far as Sunday night for the All-Star game. I really enjoyed it, and Steph Curry righteously took home MVP. So a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, I think this is just further proof that the NBA has easily the best All-Star game out of any of the major sports. Um, I mean, it's just I feel like especially now it's just that perfect blend of no one really caring, and then now they have that the Elam ending, so it's like okay, you have to the fourth quarter gets a little bit competitive, but even before, I mean, there was just so many crazy plays and stuff that I mean, it just made the All-Star game so exciting, and I mean, it's just nice to get to see these guys just joking around. I mean, I know I was looking on TikTok and Luca and Jokic were messing around with each other in the media day leading up to the All-Star game. And I mean, all these guys in the same building playing in one game. I mean, so many stars. And like you mentioned, yeah, Steph Curry. I mean, absolutely unreal. I mean, just went
Ridiculous.
nuclear, 50 points. I mean, 16 threes. I think he only made 17 field goals. Yeah, literally all but one of them was a three-pointer. I mean, just the crazy talent. I mean, the greatest shooter of all time. And yeah, like you said, if anybody doubted that, then you don't watch basketball. You don't know what the hell you're talking about because I mean, the
Yeah,
guy is just on a different level. And I mean, yeah,
no doubt.
you have to mention. I mean, the fact that LeBron backing down, post move, fade away, hits the game winner in Cleveland in front of those fans. I mean, you can't write a better story than that to end the game. And I mean, it was fans were going nuts, and I mean, it was just great. It was just cool to see that moment. And yeah, you mentioned all those guys who have meant so much to the game, and I mean, I'm sure who all those guys idolized growing up. I mean, you saw like you mentioned Michael and LeBron talking at one point during the game, hugging it out and stuff. And I mean, yeah, it's just great. I like that. I like that they did that, and I think it's just one of the things that makes the NBA All Star Weekend just so unique. And yeah, I mean, there's just so many good performances. I mean, Embiid on Team Durant went had a really good game. I mean, and I mean, yeah, it was literally Steph, LeBron, and Giannis on Team LeBron scored. I mean, Steph had 50, LeBron had 24, and Giannis had 30. I mean, I don't know. I'm not really that great at math, but that's
Yeah.
104 of the 63 points from
Hey,
three guys.
you're pretty good at math then, huh?
Yeah. Hey, listen. But I mean, it's just great. I mean, I love NBA All Star Weekend. It's so much fun. I like the different variation of events, and then I mean, their All Star game is by far the best of all of the major
Easily,
sports. Yeah, I
easily.
mean, it's just it never failed. I mean, even last year in the blowout, there was still some crazy moments that people talk about, and I mean, it just never fails to impress the fans. And I mean, I just NBA just that's off to you. I applaud you. Just well done. Another year. I didn't know
Yeah,
how they could make the NBA All Star Game better. The Elam ending seems to be something that's going to be sticking around for a long time, and I'm perfectly fine with it. If it's going to
yeah.
make it as competitive as it was 2 out of the last 3 years, I'm all for it. It's incredible. They just done a great job, honestly.
I agree, 100%. I think they found the sweet spot with it. The draft is fun as well. I mean, having the charities for each quarter, fun. I think they've hit it right on the head, and the guys still seem to really care about the All Star game, being in the All Star game, putting on a show for the fans. Um, I think it's at the perfect spot right now. So if they can fix a dunk contest, I think that All Star weekend will be practically perfect. So hats off to the NBA for another great weekend, and yeah, again, it's so cool seeing all those guys together at once during halftime. That was just super super cool to watch. Um, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. So If you guys didn't get a chance to watch some of that stuff, like Steph Curry going crazy or the halftime show, make sure you guys go check those out and enjoy those special moments. But um, other than that, I think that pretty much wraps up uh, the episode for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. We will be back later this week with another episode. Um, Probably Thursday or Friday will be my guess. We gotta talk about that afterwards, but uh, make sure you stay tuned. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at GoneProPod. Mostly Twitter is where we're gonna post most of our stuff. Um, we are trying to get our TikTok going. I've been slacking a little bit on my end on TikTok, so I'm gonna get that squared away so that we can get some more videos up there. But um, we're already gonna start posting on TikTok, so go follow us on there too at GoneProPod for little snippets of stuff and some stuff we don't talk about on the show as well. Some extra opinions and just some fun stuff on there too. So make sure you go check us out. Hope everyone had a great weekend and has a great week, and we will be back in a couple days. So take care.